Okay, stretch time. We're not quite to the shaking hands and hugging stages yet, but we are still at the point where we give each other a gift, the gift of a smile. So look around and smile like you'll make people wonder what you've been up to. Okay, everybody set? Glad you're here. My name is Larry Dawalt. I am one of the Dharma leaders, and it's an honor and privilege to be with you tonight. For some of you, tonight's talk may seem basic because you've learned some of these things a long time ago, but there are times when getting back to the basics can be helpful. Back to the fundamentals, as they say in sports. Uh, Tonight, I want to talk about the importance of Sangha. Sangha is one of the three jewels of Buddhism in which people may take refuge. The others are the Buddha and the Dharma. And the three jewels are traditionally stated this way. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way of life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. And the third, I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Now, when we talk about taking refuge, we're talking about finding a place that's safe, a place that we can rely on. And our reliance on these three things, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, is certainly a process. And as it evolves, it becomes more than just blind faith. In his book, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, Vietnamese Buddhist monk and poet Thich Nhat Hanh describes this process well. Faith in Buddhism does not mean accepting a theory that we have not personally verified. The Buddha encouraged us to see for ourselves. Come and see. Taking refuge in the three jewels is not blind faith, it is the fruit of our practice. At first, our Buddha may be a book we've read, our Dharma, a talk or a few encouraging words we've heard, and our Sangha, a community we've visited once or twice. But as we continue to practice, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha reveal themselves to us more fully. He goes on to say, when we take refuge in the Buddha, we express trust in our capacity to walk in the direction of beauty, truth, and deep understanding, based on our experience of the efficacy of the practice. When we take refuge in the Dharma, we enter the path of transformation, the path to end suffering. When we take refuge in the Sangha, we focus our energies on building a community that dwells in mindfulness, harmony, and peace. Let's hear that phrase again. We focus our energies on building a community that dwells in mindfulness, harmony, and peace. You got anything against anybody in here? Find your inner child, give it a kick, and get over it. We live in mindfulness, harmony, and peace. And all God's people, well, that's another thing. There's several definitions of Sangha. Initially, the Sangha referred to the first followers of the Buddha. This expanded to what was known as the Fourfold Sangha, which was made up of monks, nuns, and later laymen and laywomen. A more basic definition is that a Sangha is a community of friends practicing the Dharma together in order to bring about and maintain awareness. So what about Insight Meditation Community of Charlotte, our beloved IMCC? Are we a Sangha? Let's look at our mission statement. imccharlotte.org is where some of this next material comes from. The Insight Meditation Community of Charlotte is dedicated to the practice of insight, that is, Vipassana meditation, and loving kindness, metta meditation. As reflected in the Theravada Buddhist teachings, the community is intended to be a place where a diverse group of people who seek freedom of heart and mind can come together to foster mindfulness, sympathetic joy, equanimity, and compassion. We practice and study with the intention of integrating and manifesting wisdom and compassion in all aspects of our lives. Sounds like a Sangha to me. You may have been part of another Sangha or maybe several Sanghas before, but for me, IMC Charlotte is the place where I put my roots down in the quest to relieve suffering and learn more about the basic truths of life. How did that happen? Well, four things come to mind: consistency, active listening, come and see, and collective energy. Consistency was simply coming back week after week on Wednesday night. Now, having been raised in the traditional evangelical church, I had my place. You know how it is in churches, everybody's got their place. Mine was right back there. It's my place. Halfway back, usually on the end of the row. I didn't know anyone at first, but that didn't stop me. I kept coming back. Another thing I did was listen. I listened to the Dharma talks. I listened to the announcements. Let's see what's going on. The metta meditation, and eventually some of the conversations afterwards with members of the group. I listened for references to books and websites, and I remember jotting down the titles before I realized that all I had to do was come up and take a picture of the book after the meeting. I remember Ward Simmons, one of our Dharma leaders, teaching about how the breath is a foundational way to learn mindfulness because we can meditate at any time. The breath is always with us. I remember Debbie talking about the fact that meditation could be just one breath. That was a blow your mind kind of thing for me, but works. I remember Clyde talking about the second arrow and how we can easily take things beyond the initial event. I remember Alexis Stein, one of our Dharma leaders emeritus now. I remember her humorous style of teaching. And the night she asked the question, how many black shirts do we really need? Her style made me feel like I was listening to Mother Earth. And I remember the depth and wisdom of our founder, Joy Libeth, as she talked about the places she had traveled, the people she had studied with, yet she compassionately taught here in the Sangha that she founded. I also listened to the questions people ask after the talks before COVID. And for those of you who are new, there came a time, and hopefully will come a time again, when at the end of a Dharma talk, we sort of passed around a microphone and people could ask questions. And those questions were very valuable because hearing those questions helped me realize I was not alone. And it gave me the courage to ask some questions that I had. Come and see, for me, was a matter of going beyond accepting everything I heard, but instead trying things for myself and seeing what was important for me in terms of learning to practice and learning to eliminate suffering in my life. Come and see. Try it. And the last thing, collective energy, was what I got from the group. And I think it's one of the most valuable things we receive from being a part of the Sangha. As it kept coming, I realized I was not alone when I got up a little earlier than what I've been typically used to meditate. chances were real good there were people in the Sangha that were meditating at the same time. I was not alone. I also learned that I wasn't the only person looking for a path they had not previously walked. Met some wonderful people. Some of you are in the room right now. Some came and went, but many were there consistently week after week, and we supported each other with a collective energy that we would not have had without each other. Thich Nhat Hanh says this collective energy can be what keeps us going. He writes, the presence of a Sangha is a wonderful opportunity to allow the collective energy of the Sangha to penetrate into our body and consciousness. We profit a lot from that collective energy. We can entrust ourselves to the Sangha because the Sangha is practicing, and the collective energy of mindfulness is strong. Although we can rely on the energy of mindfulness that's generated by our personal practice, sometimes it is not enough. But if you know how to use that collective energy of the Sangha, you'll have a powerful source of energy for your transformation and healing. That last phrase is another way to describe a Sangha. A powerful source of energy for your transformation and healing. So where does this energy come from? It comes from everyone doing the same thing and creating a stream that flows. It's sort of like an orchestra without sound. For me, this stream is a bit of positive peer pressure. The Buddha described it in a portion of a Sangha, which goes like this. Venerable Ananda, his attendant, went to the Blessed One, and on arrival, having bowed down, sat to one side. As he was sitting there, Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, this is half of the holy life, Lord. Admirable friendship, admirable companionship, admirable camaraderie. Don't say that, Ananda, the Buddha said. Don't say that. Admirable friendship, admirable companionship, admirable camaraderie is actually the whole of the holy life. When a monk has admirable people as friends, companions, and comrades, he can be expected to develop and pursue the Noble Eightfold Path. And the Noble Eightfold Path is a tremendous unifying factor among us as we try to walk it. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This is a path that we are all walking. It's positive and powerful. But as I got on the website, as I talked to people, as I got to know this place more, I learned that this was about more than just a group of people who magically showed up at 7:30 on Wednesday night. A Sangha requires efforts from every member in order to become a stream. Otherwise, it's just a little trickle. What does that include? Let's go back to imccharlotte.org. In the fall of 2009, Joy Libeth, a psychologist, created an Insight Meditation Sangha in Charlotte, recognizing the importance of meditating with a community. Starting as a small group, Insight Meditation Community of Charlotte has grown into a large, vibrant community. And yes, I'm talking to you too, Zoom people. The group is an educational rather than religious nonprofit organization devoted to the study and practice of the Buddha's liberating teachings. We welcome individuals, talk about a diverse group. We welcome individuals of all or no religious traditions who share an interest in the practice of insight meditation. We offer weekly Dharma talks, study series such as the Noble Eightfold Path, retreats like the one that starts tomorrow, service events, book discussions, movie nights, a monthly newsletter, social gatherings, and a whole lot more. We've hosted national speakers like Sharon Salzberg, Bhikkhu Bodhi, Philip Moffat, David Chernikov, and Tibetan monks, as well as our local monastic, Ayodhya. Still sounds simple, but going further, if you click on the About, you get 4 other sections: Dharma leaders, board members, committees, and annual reports. Some of you didn't know that, did you? And some of you did because you've been doing it for years. Thank you. 6 Dharma leaders and 2 emeritus Dharma leaders, a chairman, vice chairman, secretary, board treasurer, and at-large members of the board, 5 different committees, programs, communications, meta, finance, and personnel with their leaders and various community members, and a section describing an annual budget of over $17,000. It has 25 names in that report of others who serve in various capacities, including in the important role as host and greeters week after week, and the role of retreat manager and assistant manager. But these people don't just serve in their various roles. The foundation of their contributions to the Sangha lies in their practice. The practice is what it's all about. The practice is what brings the collective energy that creates growth, awareness, harmony, and peace. And anybody who is doing a practice of any sort, beginning a practice of any sort, you are contributing to the Sangha. So who are these people? You don't get a look at them? Let's do. Dharma leaders. If you're a Dharma leader, stand up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And you're going to stay standing. If you're a board member or have ever been a board member, stand up. Boy, they were really enthusiastic when they stood. It was like popcorn on a low setting. Committee members or committee chairman. If you're on a committee or you're a committee chairman, you stand up or have ever been. If you have ever been a greeter, a tech support person, or other specific volunteer, you stand up. You folks out here, just wave your hand. There you go. I can't tell if you're standing up or not. If you're a member of a KM group, you can stand up. If you have contributed financially in any way for the operation of the Sangha, you can stand up. If you are a person who is striving to eliminate suffering in their lives, you can stand up. If you are anyone who's searching for more truth to the point that you came tonight to a meeting like this, you can stand up. Look around. This is our Sangha. This is our protection. This is friendship, companionship, and camaraderie. This is a place of refuge. A group of like-minded people with strengths, weaknesses, joys, sorrow, laughter, tears that come together to create an environment of support, protection, and nourishment. You can sit down. Concluding with a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, the Sangha is devoted to the practice of mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And while everyone in the Sangha profits from his or her own mindfulness, they can also take refuge in the collective energy that was just displayed as you looked around and saw who was practicing with you, not only tonight, but day after day, week after week. We are not afraid, he continues, because the Sangha is there to protect us. It is like the flocks of wild geese that travel together from the north to the south and the south to the north in huge numbers. If one bird goes off on its own, it may be lost. But if they stay together, they are much safer. We can practice like this. Breathing in, I see that I am part of a Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy. Breathing in, I see that I am being protected by my Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy. Let's do it. Breathing in, I see that I'm part of a Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy. Breathing in, I see that I'm being protected by my Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy. Breathing in, I see that I'm part of a Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy. Breathing in, I see that I am being protected by my Sangha. Breathing out, I feel joy.